Nnamdi Kanu is, since he was brought back from Kenya, adopted from Kenya
Yeah.
down to Nigeria, his organization, which he headed, or he's still the head,
Yes.
IPOB,
Yeah.
there's been a lot of squabbles within them.
Okay.
Is it in any way affecting the trust of the people in the struggle?
Well, there is no organization, even a country, that you will not have skirmishes. Even the best well-ordered societies, you do have skirmishes within and without. So IPOB is not insulated from such clashes. But at the end of the day, the question you have to ask is, where does Mazi Nnamdi Kanu stand? He is my client, and I stand where he stands. If he issues instructions to me, it's my duty, under the ethics of my profession, to carry them out. So where he stands is where I stand, and that is where I think the general public should stand.
Where does he stand?
Where he stands is that he considers IPOB almost single-handedly, and he appointed some people as principal officers. And as a lawyer, I'm here to tell you that if someone has the right to appoint you, he has the right to fire you.
Yes.
So if this is the issue, well, people should accept things in good faith. Even myself as a lawyer, sitting here today, and I introduce myself as his special counsel, he has the right to fire me. Definitely. And if he does, I'll go home. I will not engage him in social media brickbat and war of attrition, war of words, war of blackmail, and what have you. So if any one of you is listening, and Mazi Nnamdi Kanu appointed you to a certain office in the IPOB, and he says, I've lost confidence in you, or I think you're tired, you should go home, let me appoint someone else. It does not diminish you.
No.
He has the right to do that. But you get diminished when you challenge that. IPOB is not a gainful employment where you have employees' rights and so on and so forth, and you take your boss to court for firing you. It's not. It's a freedom fighting movement that should have strict and narrowly tailored command and control. That should stop at the hands of Mazi Nnamdi Kanu. The buck stops at his table. So when he takes decisions, even though tough and unpleasant sometimes, you just have to abide by those decisions. So I stand by him. I stand by any decision he takes. The only duty I owe to him is to advise him truthfully and faithfully, and leave him to take decisions.
But right now, where does he stand? Like currently, where is he stand? Is it on the constituted people, the DOS that he has constituted, or what? Where is?
Well, I can tell you here. I've answered the question.
Okay.
He stands by the fact that if I constituted you and unconstitute you, you should go home.
Okay.
So if he constituted some people you mentioned, and he decides, I'm going to reconstitute you,
yes,
or I am going to send some of you home, so you can take a rest, let younger people or more committed people or whatever people should take over for now. You go home. You don't challenge him on the theory that I had enunciated before. It applies to me. If he tells me, Aloy, give me your file, my file, and I don't want you to represent me anymore, I'll go home. And he will forever remain my friend. I will not come to social media and start attacking him and blackmailing him and try to form some kind of parallel legal practice against him, or take him to court or whatever. Lawyers, we have our own strength. So I will not start fighting my ex-client. Rather, I will find a way to make him my friend. He could call me again in the future for some other assignment.
Yes. All right, sir. So this struggle, to the best of our knowledge, did not start today.
Yeah.
Way beyond the Civil War, which happened in 1967 to 1970. Gowon played a capital role in the war. And 3 million people were lost. And just a few days ago, he made a statement that palm trees were fired.
That?
Palm trees were fired. That his army were shooting the palm trees. How would you respond to that?
Well, that statement is quite unfortunate. I was amongst the very first paper that came out, because I read his book quickly. I had access to the e-copy of the book, General Gowan.
Yes.
I respect him as an elder statesman, but I also have the right to criticize him.
Definitely.
He's not beyond reproach. Even the Pope is not infallible. So I read his book and I found some faults in the book, maybe some distorted historical accounts. And I read other books, and I'm not a small boy. I was born way before the war. Okay, so I knew some of these things by sight and sound. I saw them happening, and these things were not presented as he did in the book. So I criticized him, and that part about bullets shooting pantries is unfortunate. I think it offended the sensibilities of Igbo people, or people of former Biafra, or former Eastern Nigeria. But guess what? One Dam Bature, I think Garuba Dambature, he issued threats against me. He made an amateur video where he threatened me that I was insulting Gowon, that Northerners respect Gowon, that I'm insulting Gowon. If I insult Gowon again, then maybe they will deal with me. He introduced himself as president or leader of Arewa Youth.
Yes.
Okay? You are telling us that Gowon is Northern leader. I thought he was head of state of the entire country. And you're belittling him now as a tribal leader. It's quite unfortunate. So I'll tell Dam Bature, Garuba, and his corals, wherever they are, the position I took is protected by the Constitution. I never insulted Gowon. I criticized the book, and I think when he published the book, he expected some critic
to come on.
And the Gowon that everybody knows probably would not share the same view as this Dan Bature. A lot of people have done that. I don't know why they singled me out. Maybe because I'm Mazi Nnamdi Kanu's lawyer, or maybe because my criticism got deeper, maybe much deeper than the other
expected.
Other people said. So I don't know what it is, but the jury is still out, and the discussion is ongoing. So if they are going to be threatening more people, they should be ready to threaten more people. But that book will continue to be discussed in eternity. Because the only way he couldn't have discussed the book is that he didn't publish it.
The book at all.
Thank you.
All right. So lastly, 4 years ago, 30 years ago, the Minister of Justice, Alberta, Canada, Kelechi Madam, raised an alarm, advocated for the release of Mazi Nnamdi Kanu. The United Nations ordered the release of Mazi Nnamdi Kanu. There was a debate in the House of Lords in England, Britain, for the release of Mazi Nnamdi Kanu. And all these things fell to deaf ears. As a legal person, with all this international community interfering, is there no consequence to disobeying them?
Well, like I said, some of the diplomatic consequences of the interdiction of Mazi Nnamdi Kanu and how he has been treated within Nigeria's legal system, maybe most of them will not be out in the open. I'm sure there are covert or hidden diplomatic consequences, not in terms of sanctions or boycott or whatever, but I'm sure a lot of nations must have had some cold feet in dealing with Nigeria in terms of a lot of things. If you read the current, the last State Department of United States counter reports, it was very harsh in criticizing Nigeria's legal system. And this case of Mazi Nnamdi Kanu is what is playing out at the back of the mind of the people that prepared that report. So there's a lot of things that we don't see. And at the end of the day, I think it will be better for Nigeria to think more deeply about all these things and do a cost-benefit analysis. Is it costlier to keep Mazi Nnamdi Kanu in detention, or is it less costly? The answer is straightforward and beyond debate. It's far cheaper for the government to release him than holding him. Cheaper in so many different ramifications, not just materially cheaper. Politically, it's more beneficial. Diplomatically, it's more beneficial. And also, it is more beneficial in terms of the interrelationship of the various tribes and geopolitical zones in the country. So the question that should be posed to the government is that what is really your benefit in keeping him in detention. No. So release him. Thank you.
Lastly, a lot of people are coming out. Videos are making rounds to apologize to Mazi Nnamdi Kanu.
Yes, and they apologized to me as well.
How
People that blackmailed me, a lot of them have apologized to me.
how does it feel? Even to him, Mazi Nnamdi Kanu, seeing that all his predictions about insecurity, everything is coming out on point the way he said it.
Okay. I misread the apology you're talking about. I was thinking apology of those who had criticized him, the way he ran things. Yeah. And they criticized me the way I ran his legal defense. And even though I succeeded in making sure it was not brought to trial when I was lead counsel, I can beat my chest and say that. So I was criticized unfairly, and some of them came out and apologized to me. Well, coming straight to the specific point of his predictions coming through and the apologies that that has drawn into the public square. Well, I can say good riddance to bad rubbish. People who disbelieved what he was saying, and again, not just disbelieving. I think part of the reason the legal system treated him the way they did, in the terrible way that they treated him in the legal or judicial system in the country, is because of his speech. I said it sequel to his conviction that this is the only man I know in my legal practice between the United States and here who was convicted on mere speech, on uttering of certain words that didn't sit well with the society. You see, those words may not sit well with you as a government or a section of Nigerians. It might even be termed inconvenient, but by God, they are not illegal. So it is not good for a government of the day, to seek to suppress a free speech by means of punishment of some sort. It's not done, and it's not desirable, and it's not the way to build a unified and successful society based on progressive ideas of justice, fairness, and the truth. So I'm happy today there is some vindication. More shall come. And I think all of these things will be what will play out and parlay into a metaphor, and parlay into the decision, the ultimate decision that I referred to previously as to whether he's going to be released or not. So a change of heart is coming, and I hope pretty soon we shall see it in the open.
This is a beautiful moment with you. The lasting solution of Nigeria. Do you think that Nigeria could be redeemed? Or do you think that Mazi Nnamdi Kanu ideology of dividing the country is the only lasting solution?
Well, you see, listen, one could say this or that, and they start accusing you of trying to split the country. But listen, self-determination is one of our laws. We just have to face it. Anybody in that could Google it. Article 20 of the African Charter on Human and People's Rights, ratified by Nigeria in 1983 or 1984, is part of our laws. It recognizes self-determination as an inalienable right of every Nigerian, and is also recognized as a fundamental right. So when lawyers go to court to enforce your fundamental rights, they cite to the African Charter that I just cited. So it's an organic law, highly respected in this country. So if an alpha male, someone like Mazi Nnamdi Kanu, steps forward and says, I want a separate country, you don't consider it a law enforcement issue. You consider it a political issue. It's an indirect invitation to a dialogue. And in that dialogue, you may not end up with granting him his wish, but that dialogue may throw up solutions that would make the society better. In that dialogue, solutions for a better Nigeria could come, and if those solutions could not be found, maybe people might as well go their separate ways if they cannot find a common ground to coexist as a nation. That is the thesis of his agitation. Thank you.
Thank you so much. I really